If you want to beat Trump, everything about this is wrong. Literally every narrative that comes out of the Met Gala is hurting the chances of beating MAGA, beating Trump in the midterms. The optic sucks. You getting all dressed up with your gazillion-dollar dresses and your stupid, obnoxious outfits to impress one another and to be seen and to pretend you're special. It is privileged on every level. It is a little bit of a waltz of the lefties. They've always owned it. So everything that's wrong with those things winds up getting owned by the left. You're going to this opulent thing that's filled with almost exclusively rich people, and you're saying tax the rich. And it just shows this hypocrisy. You don't win the midterms because you demonize the rich. You win the midterms because you recognize the affordability problem. And you recognize that the system has to work for the many, not just the few. This ball, this gala, is about everything that's wrong with the difference between the few and the many.
It looks like The Rock is paying his dues because look what he wore at the Met Gala. These celebrities sure do love to humiliate themselves when they want to climb up in the ranks, don't they? And again, this is for everyone to see. He shows up at the Met Gala.
I feel great. Well, you know, what I shared with Tom Brown's team is that, you know, that first they sent the illustrations over, and hey, is DJ going to be cool with this pleated skirt? And I was like, well, look, you know, in our culture, Polynesian culture, we rock lava lavas, we rock skirts. The most masculine men, but not that I'm one of them, but the most masculine men wear lava lavas and skirts.
Yes, if you take a look at these protesters angry with Jeff Bezos and his 10 million donation to fund the Met Gala and the Museum Costume Institute stormed the red carpet on Monday night outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art on Fifth Avenue at Central Park. Some protesters entered the Met ahead of the party and left little tiny bottles of fake urine around near all the exhibit to protest on behalf of Amazon workers who said they are not allowed to take bathroom breaks. Under the banner, resistant red carpet protesters carry signs declaring F Trump, where no, things like these. Another protesters held up signs reading, "Your carpet is stained in blood." One anti-Bezos protesters rushed the red carpet, according to an eyewitness who spoke to the New York Post. At some point, if you take a look at what these people are doing, thinking this is actually a good idea, they must always bring in Trump's name.
Last night, at one of the most expensive events in the country, Hollywood's biggest names gathering in New York City for the Met Gala. Actress Sarah Paulson making her statement with a dollar bill mask over her eyes. That was a protest against the 1%. Maybe she left her tax the rich dress at home. You remember the one AOC sported 5 years ago. Here's what they're not telling you. It cost about $100,000 to get into the door at the Met Gala, up from $75,000 a year the year before. And a table of 10 costs more than 3 times that. This is a one-night event that costs millions of dollars and brings tens and millions of dollars from ticket sales. So I hate to break it to you, Sarah, but you're in that room. You are the 1%. The 1% decrying the 1% in extravagant, fashionable costumes.
One of the most criticized looks of the night was former astronaut Katy Perry. She chose a rather unconventional look, though it was kind of a cheat from Kim Kardashian's look a couple of years ago. She was sporting a white Stella McCartney gown with a long train, a face full of metal. Okay, it's like a full metal mask. I mean, honestly, Kim Kardashian did this a couple years ago where she had a mask that hid her face. Like, do you really want to be following a Kardashian on the style choices? Like, but maybe she does because she's, good friends with Lauren Sanchez, who is good friends with all the Kardashians. So it's possible she doesn't find that shameful. She had matching white gloves for the face mask. The gloves were, of course, 6-fingered. Was that a nod to her recent trip to outer space and what she saw? Did she see aliens during her 12-minute trip up and back down? Have you been? Okay. People magazine reports that the weird mask was a nod to Perry's public performance as art. It was a nod, you see. Here she is on the steps leading in. And it was designed to be, quote, a literal and symbolic reflection that invites the observer to consider that their perception of others can mirror their own internal world and conversely mask truth.
Crowds of protesters outside over this year's honorary chair and lead sponsor, billionaire Jeff Bezos, and he has not publicly commented on the backlash.
Yes, this is just in light with what we saw with AIC, with Tax the Rich. If you take a look at this tweet, Hypocrisy, a millionaire, demonstrated what by wearing money over her eyes, blinded by ignorance. She hobnobs with wealthy elite at the most exclusive events in the world. Next, she will demonstrate meat by eating a pig. This is exactly what these people are doing. I believe you saw this Democrat guy.
I mean, fine. I love Amazon. Pay your taxes, Bezos. Pay your taxes and pay your employees, and then I'd be happy to do Amazon because it happens to be a very good model for a company.
Right.
But man, it's depressing to think of what goes on in this country, and it costs $100,000 to get into that Met Gala. The country is spending nearly $1 billion a day on this stupid that Trump started, while they're gutting healthcare and social services.
Right.
And I think it's kind of tacky to be celebrating with all your wealth and all that while this is happening in this country.
You know, there is something with me. I don't always like to judge people how they spend their money. You know, this has always been the hypocrisy with some of these people. They will stand here to say, oh, people can't afford gas. They can't do this. They're spending $100,000 to attend this event. At the same time, they will go. We have seen some Democrats going there, right? Like this man you saw at the beginning of the video. This is someone, if you meet him on the street, you will not even believe that he can afford that. But he was there. After receiving backlash, he came to respond to interviews. That should tell you a lot with these people. Joy Biden is here calling out Jeff Bezos. I understand any person that mixes with Trump automatically becomes a bad person. That is something I noticed with these people.
The 2026 Met Gala was messy. They're so angry at the event that they were leaving bottles of pee inside the exhibition. The price for a ticket to the Met Gala went so high up, it's shocking. There was shocking stars that attended, engagement announcements, someone uninvited, and who are the surprise guest performers? So here's everything you need to know. The 2026 Met Gala happened today, and Beyonce, Rihanna, Kylie Jenner, and Emma Chamberlain were the best dressed by far. But let's cut right to the drama. There were citywide protests at the Met because a lot of people think that the Met does not stand for what it used to by letting the oligarchs, aka Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, buy their way in by being the head sponsor of the event, donating $10 million to projections on skyscrapers, including the skyscraper with his $120 million penthouse.
If you look critically, you realize Jeff Bezos and Trump are not really that, good friends, like I can say. But because some of these top CEOs actually decided to go to the White House, go to some Trump event, it has become a problem to them. That has always been the politics. Now, ask yourself why Trump's name is being mentioned all around about this. If you look at some of the placard they had, Trump's name is there. Oh, F Bezos, F Trump, F this. That is all these people put out. And who is sponsoring them? You look deep and realize they are being paid to be doing this. All these placards that they had painted all around, who is paying for that? So I clearly understand exactly what is happening here. Sometimes we just decide to cover some of these topics so you can see the level of hypocrisy that these people can